Well, greetings from the sales floor of Ellingson Motor Cars here in Rogers, Minnesota, northern suburb of Minneapolis, Minnesota. Today we're going to talk about our latest acquisition. Oh, is it something that you don't see very often? A 1957 Plymouth Belvedere. Now it's a two-door hardtop. Stay with us because we're going to give you all the information and details of this car. Now, you can also click on the link in the description and it'll take you right to this car, give you all the information on the pricing and all the facts about it. Plus, you have access to our over 100 additional cars that we currently have on our sales floor here at Ellingson Motor Cars. And remember, our website where you can find all our current inventory is www.ellingsonmotorcars.com. 1957, it's that special year for me. That's the year I was born. I think that's the year that has some of the best cars. Everything was really, Detroit was starting to come out with stuff that was really intriguing, unique to say the least. We could identify every car back in the day. You knew what a 1957 Plymouth looked like. You knew what a 57 Chevy, Ford, whatever. It was one of those years where Chrysler was trying to come out with something that they called the forward look. I mean, it really wanted to have, streamlined stuff, have the tail fins on the back. And this particular car is really a great color. If that's not a 50s color, it's called Desert Gold with sand dune white top. I mean, don't you just love those names? Try to remember all these names of these colors of these cars. I have a hard time with that sometimes, but they all have very unique names to say the least. This car came with a lot of options, because it was a hardtop. That was kind of one of those more sporty models, and it was a two-door, so it's just one of those cars you don't see very often. I don't know if the reasoning was that, if the car has lived up in our environment up here in Minnesota, which this car did not, came from places much nicer and didn't use the salt problems that we have. You got one of these cars, you got the V8 motor. This is the 301 V8, and it has, of course, the Torque Flight push-button transmission, which is really cool. That's right to the left of your steering wheel. It was one of those things that Chrysler came out with in basically 56. Now we're in 57. They've got it, and it's really neat. The other thing someone added when they bought this car, which in the day, you had to check off everything you wanted. If you wanted outside mirrors, you had to check off the boxes. You wanted to have full hubcaps like this particular car does have. That was another check off. You wanted power steering, power brakes, which are two options on this car, which really makes it very, very nice. Power steering, a lot of guys didn't order it back in the day. They didn't think they needed it or whatever. It was kind of a splurge or an extra, but I'll tell you what, in this day and age, it's really nice to have for going to the local car shows, driving down the road, any parking, you name it, it's just nice. And the other thing that we have available to us now in this day and age, they have the wide whites, of course, but they have a radial tire. Radial tires, of course, didn't come until the late 60s. But on a car of this stature today, it's really nice to have. They just ride nicer, they're safer, everything about them, those old bias tires. Sometimes a little suspect, if you know what I mean, but hey, we all drove in those things years ago, and I'm still here, even after going 100 miles an hour many a times on old bias tires. But the Mopars were just kind of a unique deal all the way around. I'm kind of a Mopar guy at heart. I still have my 69 Plymouth Roadrunner I've had since I was 17, and the family heirloom car, which is a 1928 Dodge Victory 6 four-door my great uncle bought. So that's been in our family 94 years. But no, these cars were, stuff that they really stepped up the program. And like I said, whoever did this car did a really nice job with the color combination. Believe that interior is really original. It's been all redone. It's got the cloth inserts with the vinyl. Beautiful dash in this car, speedometer. It has not been what we always say, cobbled up in any sense of the word. It's nice and stock. That's something that I really, really do like. Of course, you have the AM radio in place. You have the vent windows, which is one of my favorite additions from these cars of this era. Really get some nice air in the back seat for us kids when mom and dad were smoking perhaps or whatever. It just is kind of something I miss in today's cars. The other thing about this particular car, it is just got that swoopy line that goes all the way down the length of the car with those big tail fins. Dual exhaust has a really great sound to this car. And think about the space you have in that trunk. And this particular car, in this day and age, you can get at least a couple sets of golf clubs in. If you're going to the local golf course or club, boy, this would be a sensation if you pulled up with this thing. Now, you can find all of our stuff on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, and even TikTok. Give us a like, leave us a comment, or subscribe. We appreciate it very much. You'll have all the information on this car, our current inventory, and as kind of an added bonus, you'll have some access to cars we've sold in the past. So if you like all this old car stuff, boy, those sites are kind of fun to do if you got the time. Well, I'm one of these guys that, I love the videos. We do a nice walk around. We do the cold start. You get all the ins and outs and the details of this car, but I want to come down and look at it in person. By all means, come on down to Ellingson's. We are open Monday through Friday from 10 until 5 and Saturdays 10 to 4 Central Standard Time, of course. And you can come in and make sure and touch it and feel it and say, yeah, it really is a car that is here. They did bury one of these cars in Tulsa, Oklahoma in 1957, Miss Belvedere. Kind of an interesting story if you got time to look that up on the internet as well. No, it's one of those cars that I always say, if you own a Mopar or you own a Ford or you own a Chevy or whatever, join the local club. It's really a good thing to do, and there are people who have the same interest as you do. And if you have questions about something mechanical or otherwise, there's always someone there who can help you do that kind of stuff. Now, we are here, like I said, our hours are Monday through Friday, Saturday as well. Give us a call, 763-428-7337, and we will do our very best to answer any and all questions you may have about this car or any of our other cars that are in inventory. Maybe it's your first collector car or your 100th. Odds are Ellingson Motor Cars probably has one sitting on the sales floor right now. Well, you say, Scott, I don't really have I live in California. I'd like to have this car delivered to me. Do you have any way to help me with that? Yes, we do have sources. We're shipping cars all over the world, for that matter. California, many cars go that direction. You have a little better weather than we do here in Minnesota. Something to consider, I guess, from my standpoint. Someday I want to be someplace where I can drive an old car all the time. The other thing people ask is say, I went to my local bank and they don't even know what a Belvedere is. They have no idea what that is. Well, we have several sources as well that can help you with financing your dream collector car. Give us a call, again, 763-428-7337, and we will do our very best to lead you in those directions. 1957. Great color combinations. You started to get the big V8s, lots of power, push button transmission with options like power steering, power brakes, beautiful interior. This is the kind of car that you probably want to buy all done. That's one of the things that you'll find, that many of the cars that we have on our sales floor right here are basically turnkey, and this is no exception to that rule. So if you're looking for your first Mopar, maybe your 100th, or your first old car in general, this could very well be a car that you would be a celebrity at any car show, because you just don't see many of them. So thank you again for watching our videos. We appreciate it very much. And you put up with all my crazy stories and little tidbits that I have, but it's fun. And we will see you next time at EllingsonMotorCars.com.